Howdy, folks, again. Dave Man here, Rolling Revolution. I've been away for a little while. Last week, I had a small catastrophe. My computer, my main server in the house, kind of took a dump in the middle of a crazy storm that we had here. And then there was a weird another storm that came through again today. Thank goodness I have my machines unplugged, but I've been down and offline for a little while, and there's a reason why, and it's because technology. How enslaved we are to it, but it is great when it works, but when it doesn't work, life is kind of like put on hold for a little bit. But I want to send a message to a person who has all the right tools, has all of the right characteristics, physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual approach that could make a difference, and for whatever reason is not. Now, if you know who I'm talking to, shout it out right now. Shout it at the screen, yell it to me. And if you said the name Speaker Mike Johnson, then you know that's exactly who I'm looking at and who I'm speaking to right now. To the people who are working in that office. I don't know who you're listening to, Mr. Johnson, but whoever it is, I would fire them tomorrow. Get yourself a new staff, because you can't trust anybody around you, because whoever is whispering these sweet little nothings into your ear have lost their mind or have hypnotized you in a way that you have forgotten about your connection with the one Almighty. Now, you claim to be this guy, and you know, I've heard this before, and I've said, spare me, right? Because too many people before you have said that, yes, I'm a good Christian man, and I'm going to do that, and a lot of good Christian men supposedly have done not so many nice, good Christian things. Now, this is not across the board, but it happens. And your record is what it says it is. And what I'd like to know, and I would think with the War Room Posse and a lot of people amongst the MAGA community would like to know, is if you're deadly serious about conservatism and protecting the United States, the border, being a fiscal conservative by getting budgetary issues under control, then why would you be having meetings with Paul Ryan? Why would you be negotiating bills that give the Democrat Party and the Democrats there everything they want? Joe Biden didn't fight on it. He was actually happy. He was saying that, oh yeah, that's what we were trying to do months ago. And you're sitting there and you're all right with this. Spending, was it $1.6 billion? Trillion dollars. It's $30 billion, I think it was. What is that, 30 billion? Anyway, it's a large amount of money month by month, and we're broke. We, as a country, are broke. Now, I could have swore I heard you say that too, and a lot of the colleagues that trust you within your conference and within the Republican Party who believe in you are scratching their heads going, what in the hell is Mike Johnson doing? So you have an opportunity to explain yourself. Now, if there's an ace in the sleeve or something that you got going on here, great, wonderful. But I do not see this. And unfortunately, I've been watching this narrative play itself out for a very long time. And I'm telling you something right now, Mr. Johnson. The American people are tired of the goddamn games. And yes, I said that because any Christian man would recognize that we don't have time for games. You are sleeping with snakes, and the problem with it is that unless you're one of them, you are going to get bitten, sir. You're going to get bit. And I don't know if they have something over you. I don't know if there is somebody being held hostage someplace that we don't know about, but you better either wave a white flag pretty soon here, or your conference and the American people are going to turn on you in a moment's notice. This isn't a game to me, and it's not a game to the majority of the people that I have talked to, because they are feeling it right now. They are feeling it, sir. Now, you were put in there to do a job, to stand in the breach if necessary, and take the shot if necessary, because that's what it calls for, because that's what the American people demand. What are you doing, is the question. I want you to stand before the American people and tell us exactly what you're doing. Because as far as I'm concerned, no more money to the Ukraine. No more increased spending bills, period. We are broke. Mother Hubbard's cupboard is empty and has been empty for a very long time. If you think that opening the Federal Reserve and just printing off more notes out of thin air backed by nothing that the American people are supposed to pay for because you can't figure out a way to balance a budget, you think that we're this stupid? No, you got something coming. You all are traitors. This is insanity to the highest level. So don't pretend to think that you are smarter than the people who are paying your salary, who put you there in the first place, and the Ponzi scheme that you are playing with that Federal Reserve and thinking that you can just print notes and they're backed by nothing. No, this is what they call a con game. And I thought you were smarter than that. So either you are amazingly stupid or you're playing a game. And like I said before, the American people are done with these games. If you have a problem doing this, I tell you right now, you can put me in as speaker. I may not know all the bullshit and jargon that you guys keep talking about, but I don't need to, because then I can ignore all that. Okay? And then I can just look at the problem, and then I can see a solution. And then I'm only going to listen to the ears of the people that are working towards that solution. We have a wide open southern border. It's wide open. Ben Bergquam, Oscar Blue, many reporters in the alternative media have been talking about this. Those two in particular for the last 2.5 years, showing you, going through the Darien Gap, day by day, showing you what the process is, that are people being trafficked, all these IDs from all different passports from all over the world crossing that border. And nobody in Congress thinks that that's a security threat. The Joint Chiefs, General Milley, what's his face, Lloyd Austin, people go disappearing, missing. What? This is a clown show. There's nobody in the United States right now is taking the security of the United States seriously. That's a problem. And it's a problem that I have. And if you cannot solve that problem, you could put any other American citizen who's astute in this whole game. And I guarantee you put the right people in, and this stuff will go away tomorrow. But you're playing games. You're playing games with my country. And 250 million other people who are paying, these people are paying attention, sir. You cannot keep pussyfooting around with this. Having meetings with Chuck Schumer, Paul Ryan, what's wrong with you? The conversations must be something. How much did you get for selling the country out? Or like I said, maybe I'm seeing this all wrong, but I haven't been wrong yet. If you want to go listen to my prior videos about McCarthy and everything, again, you can see the game being played out. The patterns are all the same. That's what's so hilarious to me, because you all think you're smarter than everybody else, but you're not. You're just a bunch of crooks, lying and playing, and you can talk a good game. You know, that's one thing about lawyers. You know, a good lawyer can sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves. Okay, that's how good they are. All right. But again, when you have an ear like I for bullshit, I can see the wiggle in the ways of the snake. I thought you were better than that, Johnson. This is not a game. We are talking to you. You have an opportunity to do the right thing. And so far, I don't know what you're doing. Your colleagues don't know what you're doing. The American people don't know what they're doing. And Heritage and many of the donors are going, what in the heck are you thinking, sir? So the only conclusion I can come to is either you were completely misplayed or outplayed. You have a very low IQ, or you don't really know what's going on there. You just have been pretending very, very well. Or they have something on you or holding something against you, and if you don't buckle or yield, it's going to hurt. I'm sorry. But this whole thing never had to go here. There's a thing I believe that you have as a speaker and as a majority control is called the power of the purser. It's called leverage. McCarthy had it and gave it away. You had it and gave it away. You shut that border down, or you shut the government down. You keep lying to the American people, and the media keeps being the mouthpiece for you because they control 93% of everything you read, watch, or listen to. Yeah, we know. And we're informing people. Every single day, the army of the awakened is getting larger. Every time I talk to people, poll people, it's not going in your direction. So I don't know who it is you are serving anymore. No, sir. Whatever they got, you took on this role. You said you were going to do the right thing. And when push came to shove, you buckled. Now, I hope your colleagues and the people in Congress are not dumb enough to even pass through a bill like this. But if this does happen, it's the end of everybody there. The end of this country, because we are bankrupt. But I can guarantee you that anyone, any Republican especially, who votes in favor of this, sayonara, goodbye, your political career is over. We'll make sure of it. I've said this once before, and I think people need to start taking it seriously. When I say that the only thing a stubborn son of a bitch in Washington, D.C. understands is a fat punch in the mouth. You find what these people hold dear and you squeeze. That's what they would do to you. Look what they're doing to Donald Trump right now. Look at the ridiculousness. Now, this is all backfiring, of course. You can see that the lawfare is not making any sense because when you stack the deck with lies, eventually those lies come back to bite you in the ass. Why? Because it's all based in bullshit. This is why we tell children, don't lie. And if there's any young people out there, be better than the morons that are directing this country right now. Because you know what? It's very hard to find somebody today who can put their hand out and shake on something and that be their word, because the word is their bond. You can see that these people, they don't care. They're criminals. And this is the problem with criminals. There is no uniting amongst criminals. There's no, it's all about me. It's all about protection. And in Washington, D.C., it's all about political power, saving their ass, and then trying to figure out a way to get themselves on another committee or another control so that they can get more lobby money, so they can get more influence money. It's a game, a white-collar crime, and it has run Washington, D.C. for far too long, and it's over. The game is over. When Donald Trump said, no more games, it's a simple phrase. But it resonates so far because everyone is tired of it. Tired of it. Now, I have told people multiple times that I am not a bandwagoner Trump person. I looked at every candidate, and I have for the last 20 years, without the stained glass eyes, okay? I see things for what they are. I didn't vote for a long time. Why? Because there was nothing there. Even in 2016, I didn't vote for Donald Trump. However, I still did watch the process go out because he promised a lot, and I was like, okay, maybe this is different, but I didn't get involved. The first 100 days is always a key, and what you saw come out, I became a fan almost immediately. I'm like, and then when you saw the lawfare and the ridiculousness that started pretty much on day one within his administration, trying to take him down, I was like, okay, this is somebody we need to pay attention to. Now, I know there are a lot of people out there that say, no, you have no idea what you were talking about. Well, maybe not, okay? But my instincts have never been wrong when it comes to this kind of stuff. It's too bad my wife's not here to tell you about how accurate I was. But the thing is that when you've been watching patterns like this over a period of time, it's like anything in life. You see things that other people don't see. And I get it why people have completely walked away from everything that has to do with the political arena because they think it's a clown show. I agree it's a clown show, but it can get inherently worse. And the reason it gets inherently worse is because you have shit leading you. Get rid of the shit, and I will show you a brave new world. I promise in the future I will try to keep my cussing to a minimum, but you all need to understand, when I say you all, I'm talking to Congress, especially those who have been playing games up there for a very, very long time, because there are a few up there that are really trying hard to do what's right. But it's very difficult to do that in a sea of snakes, a sea of people that are only looking out for themselves and the special interests that put them there in the first place. Yeah, we're on to you. That's why paper ballots are going to be the absolute litmus test to show you exactly how corrupt and how not divided this nation really is. They've been telling you nonsense for a very long time about how divided we all are. I don't believe it's true. There are several issues that divide people. Yes, a few, and mostly they're social issues. But they're irrelevant because most of us live in the center. We have a few things that we're a little bit more conservative on. Some people have a little bit, some people are ultra. Okay, yeah, I get that too. But in a society where getting things right should trump being right, that's a country I want to live in. That's what my focus has been for the last 10 years. And I'm telling you, the people that are serving you are garbage. And that's why you see a country that has turned to garbage. Because when you give children the keys to an automobile, they will tear up the roads. And look what the little child, Joe Biden, and his little administration, which in my opinion is run by the Obama administration. I don't care what anybody says, that little puppet, whatever that thing is, walking around bumping into shit, claiming to be the president, is a joke, an insult to my intelligence and to many's intelligence. And I can understand why the Democrat Party is so desperate right now, and why, if you listen to any one of the main networks, including Fox News on several shows, it's all whiny. It's all, what are we gonna do? This is why the joke has always been that the only way Democrats can win elections is by stealing them, because elections are supposed to be based upon ideas. Not by party, not about the way a person looks, not about the way a person sounds, but by ideas. And the best ideas, the ones that people agree with the most, is the candidate that should be put into that position. At least that's the way I look at things. Okay, you don't go to get surgery done and ask for the most pretty looking doctor there. I like the one with the most pretty hands and the one that smells good. No, you want the one that's the competent son of a bitch that knows what the hell they're doing under any circumstances, because I want that person to be ready if you're going to be cutting me open and doing some major work. But when it comes to presidents, we're not looking at that. We're concerned about how he sounds, how she looks. You know, is she woke? Is she all about inclusion in this? Are they effective? Do their policies make sense, and do they work? Have you experienced a projection because of the policies put into place? Again, if you were hiring somebody to run your business, would you hire the pretty one? Now, maybe there are men out there who are chauvinistic idiots that would do that, okay? But that only goes so far. And if your whole purpose of life is to get things right, or to be profitable or be successful, then you put the right people in the right positions to make the right decisions at the right time. That's common sense. And the fact that we are sitting here today talking back and forth as a broke, unsecured nation, when you have adult children leading us, sitting around there, well, if we only had this and we did a little bit more of this, and if I don't get my money for this, and I have never seen a bunch of immature little shits in my life. And I'm sorry. You got till the end of the year because we're going to be yanking half of you suckers out. And you keep voting, keep voting. And Mike Johnson, we are serious when we say, you better start doing the right damn thing. Otherwise, your own people are going to squish you. We're done with the games. The American people deserve better. You better start giving them better. Otherwise, people like me, people like a lot of the people in the MAGA community are going to start taking those positions away from you. You don't think I can talk fast, talk smart, debate real well? You don't think I can do that? Sure, and especially if you get me in front of a debate team. Oh my God, I'm going to clear the floor with you and make you look like a moron. It doesn't take very, very much. It just takes a person who's willing to listen. Okay? Recognize the pattern. And then at the end of the day, just care about what it is they're supposed to be doing. Now, you've had your chance. We're done with the dancing. We're done with the BS. We're done with the talking points. We're done with the photo ops. When you have people who work at the budget office, guys like Russ Vogt who run numbers on a regular basis, they can tell within seconds how full of crap you are. It's time to either start doing the right thing or just do what McCarthy did. Get your shit, get out. There are plenty of jobs where you can go ahead and try to sell insurance to grandmother or try to steal grandma's savings. There's plenty of people out there trying to do that. You can join them because we don't have time for any more of this nonsense. It's funny, it amuses me about how wealthy a lot of you all are and how many people have enriched themselves using that office. Those days are over. Those days are over. You know, I would even be willing to give a senator and a representative who actually is going to do something for the American people $1 million a year so they don't have to take any type of money. So you can just focus on doing your job. Your family's taken care of. You'll be all right. Just do the right thing for the American people. There's enough to go around, and if you put the right policies in here, you can actually start allowing the American people to have one income sustain a household. While the family stays together, closer together. A family that stays together thrives. Stop moving the family all over the country. Keep them close. Keep the communities close. Stop stacking people all on top of you. There's plenty of room. No, we need to start bringing manufacturing here. Start building plants here. Start building things, the technology for tomorrow here. Microchips, microprocessors, all of it. The reason why this got this way is because these companies cornered a market and then started to take net labor overseas so that they didn't have to pay you what you should be getting paid to get cheap labor in these countries where they don't have a voice. Now, it doesn't have to be expensive. It can be done right here. It can be done properly. We have just done things the wrong way for a very long time. And it's going to take people who actually give a care about this nation to start bringing us home. I'm tired, aren't you? I'm tired of waking up every single day and feeling as if life has become not worth it. It's when I say way too hard, it's not that it's challenges are there. You need to have challenges. It makes you stronger, but it's the unending challenge. It continues to get harder and harder no matter how hard you try. And you could try to put in extra effort, and it does, because they continue to keep stomping on you and stomping on you. And the only way this stops is if you fight back now. There's a time for prayer. There's a time for peace. There's a time for quiet. But there's also a time where you need to fight. And now is that time. The way you can do it is by getting involved in your local community. It's talking about it, sharing the messages, looking at people that actually care within your community that maybe can possibly run for these offices. People you trust. I've said it before. It is a quote by one of the best motivational guys out there named Simon Sinek. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but a team is not a group of people who work together. A team is a group of people who trust each other. And the only way Trump or whatever president is going to be successful is if he has the trust of the American people, he or she has the trust of the American people, and the team that surrounds that individual is trusting and trustworthy. You cannot be successful when you have people constantly stabbing each other in the back, which is why DC is functioning the way that it is right now. And don't think over the next 2 weeks and the next few months and the next few years, you're going to start hearing, oh, I can't believe that. Oh my God, I can't believe that, because that's a cesspool. And the crimes that have been going on in that city for decades will unnerve you. But it's a scab that we have to pick. It is an absolute area we have to bear every part of this. But the only way we're going to fix it is by waking the masses up. It requires an entire movement. This is not a one side or another anymore. Throw the labels out. The labels are what destroyed this nation. Stop talking about it. Stop identifying as this, that, or the other thing. You are an individual. Very unique. Every human being is. You cannot be thrown into a box. It doesn't exist. Nobody works that way. Yes, we may have similarities, but 98%, anywhere between 93 to 98% of the things most people agree with, have similar interest in. There's a small deviation of the most important things that we disagree on. And most of the time, they're social issues. And a lot of it has to do with ignorance about the issue. They have got us all messed up fighting against each other, and it's not the argument. The argument isn't there. It's right down the center of your heart and mind. We have to check our own self at the door, really look at what things are going on, and then finding a focus in the world and just acting upon it, doing what we know how to do. Every human person on this planet has something to offer, has a skill. You think you don't. I'm telling you, you do. And once you find what it is, start working on it. Start being the best at it. Everybody has a part to play. I want to see you get yours. You deserve that. I believe every hardworking American deserves to have a good life if they're willing to put the effort in for it. Absolutely. This wage disparity and this absolute monetary disparity in this country is insane. And there are too many rich white fat cats. And again, this is not aiming at one person or other, but there's a large group of people that think you and I are just slaves to be used and utilized. And so far they've been right. But this stops when you and I say we've had enough. Stop arguing amongst each other and look at where the problem is. And once you do that, the momentum shifts and they cannot stop the boulder coming down the hill. It's just, you're either going to get the hell out of the way or you're going to get steamrollered. That is the Make America Great Again Academy. That's what it is. It's one person being informed at a time, joining up with other people to keep the information flow going. And all of it is fluid. If somebody's shouting out nonsense, another person within the group will constantly fix that. Because we're not about lies. We're about getting it right. Not about being right, but about getting it right. And sometimes across the path, you're going to hit some bumps and you're going to be wrong. But it's okay. You need to recognize we're wrong, take credit, say, look, I screwed up, and move on. The problem with the people in D.C. is nobody's ever responsible for anything. It's always the other person's fault. They blame you. It's your fault. It's your Social Security. It's your Medicare. It's too much. We're going to take that from you now too, right? They constantly keep playing these games. It's all horseshit. This stops when you and I say we had enough. And for you young folks out there, I know you don't think it matters. You're looking at this old fart and you're going, it isn't making jokes. I'm sure there's probably people out there making jokes. And that's fine. If that's what it's going to take for you to watch this video and keep watching it, do whatever you want. I do not care. I don't care. Because again, I'm looking out for you. My goal is to leave this place better than I received it. And so far, we haven't done that. But we're going to. And for those people that are my age, the ones rooting around in there, it's time to step up. It's time to step up. Put the beer down, put the 20-ounce bag of Doritos down, put it all away. It's time. It's time to fight. It's time to get involved where you live. It's time to do what you do. You got that talent. Bring it. It's time to bring it. We all have something to bring. But as far as what's going on in Washington, D.C., as far as what's going on at that southern border, as far as what's going on within the media, the lies, the media, they don't know what to say anymore. So they keep tiptoeing around everything. There's still people in the state of Florida that are not aware that Dr. Latipo, the Surgeon General, had made it the recent, because you can't say anything, discontinued is the proper terminology until further use because they are not deemed to be safe and effective. Now that's a shocker, right? Wow. But nobody is paying attention. I mean, a small portion of people are, but even though that is like blockbuster story, it's like everybody has so zoned into this, focusing that they can't get out of their 9 to 5. I've got to do this. Like, we're never going to stop that until you break that cycle and start recognizing where the problems are and addressing them. They're not going to go away by themselves. And if you're going to expect somebody else to do it, I'm sorry, you're going to be mightily disappointed. You're not going to get the answers you're looking for because it ain't going to happen. You have to become the hero of your own life story. You've got to get involved. You've got to make that happen. And for those out there that have just had enough, I get it, but don't get in our way. Stay off the sideline and watch me do what I do. Watch the individuals that are going to change this country. You'll see. I know. I've heard it before, Dave. Well, you will see. All right, folks, I hope to see you all on the battlefield. Mr. Johnson, no disrespect, but disrespect when I say this in a nice way and in a not nasty way. I want you to do the right thing. I really do. I was rooting for you from the beginning. But like I said, I am so used to people disappointing the American people, and I've had it. So if you're not going to do the right thing, you can either step aside and get out of the way, because otherwise we are going to steamroller you over. And don't think for 1 minute that I will not find what you hold dear. Okay? And when I'm not, there are no threats. I do not threaten people, but you have to apply pressure to people sometimes to do the right thing. A punch in the face, that's exactly what the power of the purse is in Washington. It's called leverage. And your colleagues that you just handed stuff to have been the masters at it, under the gavel of your predecessor, Nancy Pelosi. And I don't understand how nobody is taking a page out of that and doing the right thing this time. Nope. We're still enriching the pockets of people who don't give a rat's ass about this nation while the southern border is wide open. I've had enough. The American people have had enough, and I'm done talking about it. I hope to see you all on the battlefield. You know what to do. Keep calling your congressman. Keep getting involved where you lived. We're taking it back. They don't like it. Tough crap. We're coming. There's nothing they can do about it. I hope to see you all again out there. Do what you do. I'll do what I do. And I promise you, we'll get there. We are going to get there. All right. We'll talk with you soon. Take care. Peace.